We have a few minutes left. I want you to talk about the events of the week. We saw the Supreme Court push back on special counsel Jack Smith's motion to get them to give him an answer whether President Trump has immunity. Give us your take on what has taken place this week.
Well, Maria, stating the obvious, was a big legal victory for President Trump and a big legal setback for Jack Smith. But I would argue that Jack Smith lost more than just a legal issue at the Supreme Court. He lost credibility. This may be his Mueller moment. Your viewers remember when special counsel Bob Mueller struggled and stumbled to find an answer and ultimately couldn't answer why he applied a different standard to Donald Trump than anyone else ever prosecuted or under investigation by the Department of Justice, meaning that Donald Trump had to conclusively prove his innocence rather than have a presumption of innocence as our bedrock standard. Bob Mueller lost all credibility and he and his report drifted away. And I would submit that this is the Bob Mueller moment for Jack Smith, because everyone remembers, Maria, that he stood before the American people when he indicted Donald Trump and he said, we have one set of laws and they apply equally to everyone. Donald Trump will be treated the same as every other defendant. But when Donald Trump's legal team came forward with a legal defense of presidential immunity that threatened a trial date taking place before the political election in 2020, Jack Smith did a 180 and he went to the Supreme Court and said, forget everything I told you. Now Donald Trump is completely different. This is extraordinary. We have to have an expedited review. You have to look at this immediately. And I think the Supreme Court, the way they rejected this unanimously with one sentence saying, petition denied, I think reflects that they saw what we all saw, which is that the very same Justice Department that said, hey, 6 years to consider charges against a guy named Biden was plenty fast. But when it comes to a guy named Trump, for some reason, we have to have this trial take place before the election.
What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Happy holidays, guys, and Merry Christmas to all of you out there tuning in to this Christmas special, guys. Today we've got Jack Smith's case absolutely shattering. Great news to hear on such a wonderful day. We've got Trump's lawyer in this following clip weighing in on what the Supreme Court just did to absolutely shut down Jack Smith. He's honestly showed his hand, guys. We've seen what his motive is. His political interest in this case has, shown through him trying to get this speedy review from the Supreme Court, and they're seeing it just like we're seeing it, guys. I'm excited to hop in this clip and see exactly what Trump's lawyer Alina Habba has to say on the matter. So we're gonna get straight into the clip, and then I'll get my thoughts on the back end, guys. So definitely stick around to the end so you guys can get my thoughts on the back end. Yo, let's get into it. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys hit that like button, guys. It does not cost a thing. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Trump lawyer Alina Habba has a message for Jack Smith. The Supreme Court saw right through your shenanigans. And later the host goes, bye-bye, Jack Smith. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are.
Yeah, it's called election interference. That is 100% what this was. And I'm really pleased with the Supreme Court. It really restored my faith in my profession, frankly.
This is important because people are losing their respect for institutions like the Supreme Court. And here's a lawyer who's saying she was being ashamed about her own profession, and now they're restoring faith in it.
The Supreme Court saw through this. There was no urgent application necessary by Jack Smith. He was trying to usurp the appellate division and go right up to the Supreme Court to have them hear issues of presidential immunity, which is an absolute immunity that presidents have for a very good reason.
This is a review of what we've already been saying, so it's great to hear an actual lawyer confirm what we suspected. Not bad for a comic book artist.
Frankly, so that they don't have to have DAs and AGs come after them after their presidency in this political witch hunt. And the Supreme Court ruled today that Jack Smith did not have reason to do so. He needed to stay the course, go through the normal procedures as everybody else. He had no urgency, and there was no dissent in the Supreme Court's decisions.
This should restore your confidence that the Supreme Court, in the end, is going to take up this case. and Trump is going to be exonerated. That's what it's all pointing to right now.
We can't try and rush due process when it suits them. They have year-long investigations, and then they brought all these cases, David, right before the election so that he's not on the campaign trail, so that he's out there doing nothing to help his campaign.
The Democrats thought they had Trump, but it's all going to backfire on him because he didn't need to campaign. These cases are the campaign making the case for Trump.
Instead, what they don't realize, which I think the polls show, is that the more you try and attack Trump, the more you try and tie him up in these witch hunts and court cases, they're going to get stopped, and they're going to be seen by the Americans as an attempt to usurp the GOP and the Republican Party. Well, it's so desperate.
This is not about Trump versus Biden. This is about Trump versus the state is what's on the ballot, and Americans, a majority, are now waking up to it.
100%. And where's due process? That Colorado court, they're going to have it handed to them, I got to tell you. And it's going to be an embarrassing day. I believe, like many other legal scholars have said, this is going to be a 9-0 decision. There is just no justification.
A 9-0 case is what she's predicting. I predict the same thing. That means Jackson, that means Sotomayor, even the most flaming lefties on the bench are going to side with Trump.
What we're seeing is across the board DAs and AGs that are politically motivated. And I'm really grateful for the Supreme Court to step in and see through that.
Well, actually, so this goes against Fani Willis also, and Alvin Bragg and Chutkin. We didn't vote for them, so they can only be pushed back by a higher court.
It's a shame that it has to go as far as the Supreme Court. That is reserved for the utmost difficult decisions that really affect this country. And the fact that we've gotten there so fast is very telling. These cases are so political, and to put that burden on them is not fair. But I will say today, there was no dissent. There was dissenting opinions in the Colorado case, as you mentioned, but today there was none.
Even the Colorado case was so bad that it was 3 Democrats that dissented against the other 4. So there's no Republicans on that court.
It's restoring my faith, honestly, in our judicial system. And I'm a big critic of it when I see it going wrong, but today restored my faith.
I'm just trying to give you guys some hope. Have a little bit of faith in your Supreme Court and some of your justices, even as the lower courts are corrupted. And here's the final goodbye to Jack Smith.
That it was one sentence, no, Jack Smith, you don't got it. I mean, it was that simple. Bye-bye, try again.
Bye-bye, Jack Smith.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Doug. Definitely going to be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below for those of you who want to go check that out. Also for you guys to go over there and show our friend Doug some love. We just seen on display Jack Smith's case crumbling to smithereens, tiny, small. It's unrecoverable now. He has lost all of his credibility. The Supreme Court has now ruled against Jack Smith and showed him that he is not hired. This move by Jack Smith single-handedly just ruined his whole case. It all fell apart at the seams just because he wanted to, speed up this process. As soon as the trial date was threatened, Jack Smith started to panic. At first, he was saying he was going to try this, try this case like every other case. Every case should be, set equally, innocent until proven guilty. But that is proven not to be the case with this case with Trump. With Jack Smith rushing the Supreme Court, jumping over the appellate division or the appeals court in D.C. In order to get to the Supreme Court and get a quicker ruling on whether or not Trump had presidential immunity from these rogue prosecutors like Jack Smith. This just showed that this is blatant election interference coming from Jack Smith. And a lot of these other corrupt figures, district attorneys like Fani Willis, attorney generals Letitia James, we're seeing this happen time and time again. This is nothing new. Jack Smith has just, showed us his hand, showed it to the crowd, let us know exactly what we've been thinking this whole time, proven it to be true. It's honestly a shame to see, the efforts that they will go in order to, keep Trump's name off that ballot, tarnish his name. It has not done anything to build him up. We've seen the polls, we've seen just crazy amounts of support coming from, both sides. People are hopping from the left to the right in order to support this man. Like, this is unreal. We've never seen this kind of support coming for one candidate, and it's because we know he is for the people. The corruption of the left cannot go ignored. People on the left are seeing the corruption within the left, and they're like, if they're going to do it to him, what makes you think they wouldn't do it to me if, given the chance? We need to dismantle this system that is being weaponized against patriots like Trump so it can never happen again. We need to vote this man in so this could never happen to any of us patriots that actually want to stand for America's values. Definitely up in the comment section, guys, and let me know your thoughts on this. This is Jack Smith absolutely getting shut down. This is Christmas Day shutdown, guys. Hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys smash that like button, guys. It does not cost a thing. Hit that like button for your boy. And also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next one. We got